Bill White here. Okay, so now you have your Moodle installed on your server. Now let's start setting it up. So the first thing you need to do is, of course, go to your website's address, and then you must decide a few things. One is, what language do you want it to default to? Then confirm path, so it will ask you for your web address. This would be your domain name. Then the location on the server, the directories, and then the location, the Moodle data folder, which should be at least one directory above your HTML. It should not be in the same folder. You can even put it somewhere else on the server if you like, but default is usually just one above your web folder. And if this is correct, just click Next. Next, it's going to ask you what type of database you're using, and so I can choose the correct driver. I'm using MariaDB. And then, next, it's going to ask you some information for your database. What did you use for your database username, database name, database username, and then, of course, the password. And then next will be, okay, do you agree to the terms of service? Yes, I do. Okay, and now it will run the checks for your server, make sure you have all the correct modules set up. If everything's good, mine will have one yellow one at the bottom. Yellow means please check it, but it's not required, but it's good to have it. And this one is for secure SSL. But I did not install it because it's the local and just the testing server. It's not actually available to the World Wide Web. So if you're doing that, please make sure you use SSL. Okay. Now it's going to start building the tables in the database. And this will take a while depending on your server, your connection to your server. In my case, it's a local server, but it's a Raspberry Pi, so this will take a while. So until this is finished, I'm going to stop the video and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so now all the tables have been built and we are ready to continue. You can see there are many if you want to, but you don't need to. Okay, so now the next part is you're going to have to set up an admin user. This is the administrator, so you can choose whatever name you want, and please choose a good password. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it as default admin. Then the password has to be at least 8 characters and at least 1 digit, 1 lowercase, 1 uppercase, and 1 special character that is non-alphanumeric. Okay, so you can always click the eyeball to see what you're putting in. I'm just using this as an example. Again, this is a very simple testing server. It will be trashed later, so it doesn't matter. Then you can put in your name. I usually put in my real name, but since it's just test, and then an email address for them to contact you. Okay, and then your students would see your email. Also, I didn't set this up, but it should be set up for the country that you are in. I'm in Japan, but I did not do this just for the sake of it. It's just default server setup, but please make sure. If you didn't set up or you don't have access to setting up the actual location, or your server is located in another country or an area other than you are, you can always just go here and then choose. So I would have to choose like Asia, Tokyo, and then you can put in any other additional information that you would like. Then once you've done that, the next part is actually putting in your site name and a little information about who your site is for or why you are using this Moodle site and things like that. Okay, so the full name that would go in the banner. So Bill's Awesome Moodle, and then a short name. I usually just use the the acronym for it, BAM, and then awesome Moodle site. Okay, and again, if you changed it, you should change this as well. Okay, whoops. Okay, and then whatever you want to do, and then make sure it asks for this. You don't have to put a real email address, it doesn't matter. Okay, just put something in there so it needs to have the dot something. Okay, if you're going to set up the actual email thing, then yes, that would change, but that's at another time. Okay, so now you have your Moodle ready to start to be populated with courses and students and things like that. I hope this was helpful, and my next video will be on how to do a little customization with themes and some little things you should do to help your Moodle site run smoother. Okay, thank you and happy Moodling.